Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here doing some M1384 drafting. We've got a pretty cool pack. Trading Post Rare, which is, always pretty good. I guess I've got my eye on the Searing Spear just because I'm a sucker for removal. Um, Prey Upon is also good, but I think Searing Spear is probably a little bit better. A little less requirements necessary to fry something. I'm probably going to pick the Searing Spear. I do like Fogbank quite a bit, and I think someone left in the comments about how good this card is, like it's top 3 picks or something. That might be just their opinion. I mean, it's a good card, but it's not like it wins you the game, It might protect you to win you the game, but it's not. You're not going to drop it, and your opponent's going to be like, "Oh, I'm on a clock now." Yeah, I think I'm just going to pick the Searing Spear. There's plenty of good cards in here. I mean, I don't even know a lot of things I could wheel and be happy with, I'm sure. Even if I mean, depending on what my second color is, I guess. But I guess I can't expect to wheel much red. But yeah, let's take the Searing Spear. I love that card. Very good. Okay, follow up pick. I guess we've got some choices here. I like most of the cards in this pack. I like Courser, the 2 Coursers. Fire Elemental's good. Arsonist, Fairy Invaders, Evolving Wilds, and Crust. Ravenous Rats, Rings are good. Jace. Most of the picks in here are solid. Um, I don't know if I want to pick the Arsonist, honestly, over either this course. Well, I'd pick Centaur Courser, I think, before I pick Water Courser. Red Green. How much do I like Red Green? I think it's decent. I'm not going to be like terribly sad if I miss out on Arsonist. It's very good against the Black-White Exalted strategy, though. How anxious am I to do blue-red? I don't think I'm eager to pick up a Fairy Invaders, although this card is good. I think my choice, I'm really going to narrow it down to Courser or Arsonist, and I believe I like Courser more. Pretty sure I like that more. So I think I'm going to go with the Centaur Courser here. He's pretty good most of the time. Ooh. Now we've got a challenge. Serra Angel, Healer of the Pride, Deadly Recluse, and Attended Knight. Once again, we're opening a pack with a lot of good cards. I like most of the cards in here. I think I'm going to narrow it down to these 3. Attended Knight's close. So Serra Angel's probably the most bomb card in here. Healer of the Pride's an awesome card, and Recluse is very good. If I take Serra Angel, I'm already going into a 3rd color, which is not good. But Serra Angel is a pretty awesome card. I mean, it's still early enough. I don't know where I'm at. I can always splash for the Searing Spear. Might just want to stay on color with this Courser and pick up the Deadly Recluse. I think I am, only because this core right now that I have is really solid. I mean, both Healer of the Pride and Serra Angel I probably value higher than Deadly Recluse, but Deadly Recluse is still a very strong card, so I don't have regrets picking it up there. Here, Mark of the Vampire is pretty awesome, but it is black, which I'm not yet. I like Fire Elemental quite a bit. It's a pretty efficiently costed creature, in my opinion. Mark of the Vampire is the strongest card in this pack, no doubt. I think I'm just going to go with the Fire Elemental, start cutting some more red. And Fire Elemental is just a good card in general, so no real regrets there. I guess it's between Force Mage or Krenko's Command. I'd pick up the Command if I was sure I could get a Arms Dealer. But then again, it might just be better than the Force Mage anyway because it couples fairly well with Trumpet Blast. And I'm a person who's never opposed to Trumpet Blast. I think it's a fine card. So there's higher potential upside with the Command than the Force Mage, probably. I guess if I get a Primodox, the Force Mage would be better. I'm not exactly sure. This is kind of a tricky pick. There's synergies with both of them. I think I'm actually going to pick the Force Mage because, I don't know, I might be willing to jump out of red if I see something that motivates me to do so. Fungal Sprouting. I actually like that card. How good is it in here? It's good with Courser. It's good with Fire Elemental. Naturalize is a highly playable sideboard card, though, and I want to make sure I get one of these, so I think I am going to pick it over the Sprouting. I haven't gotten a chance to play this, really, and even though it's an uncommon and you see it less, I'm just never really, like, super wowed by it. I think we'll pick up the Naturalize. We already saw a couple Mark the Vampires, and I have a feeling this is going to come in handy. Well, some good picks in here. I am a huge, enormous fan of Mark of Mutiny. I think I'm going to have to pick the Turn to Slag here, though. Just pick up another sweet red removal spell. I like both Spiked Baloth and Gorger, and I like Goblin Battle Jester, so all of these green and red picks, it's kind of unfortunate that I'm passing them because I like them quite a bit. Mark of Mutiny, I'm just an enormous fan of, and people really just... I think it's a highly underrated card, undervalued. I'm going to take Turn to Slag, though, because it's an actual removal spell. Alright, well, we got a late Chandra's Fury, which is pretty awesome, because this card is very, very strong. And I'm happy to pick it up. Okay, well, I mean, a Mark of the Vampire did table, but so did a Krenko's Command, and this card we would actually play, so I'm going to pick up the Krenko's Command. Alright, well, we tabled another Fire Elemental, which is actually kind of cool. And a third one. No, we're going to take the Spiked Baloth over that just for curving purposes. I think we've probably got enough 5-drops at this point. None of these are very good. I'm trying to think of lands that... Is there any good land in this form? Not really. Possible sideboard option, I guess, if someone was being super greedy with their mana base, but it's pretty unlikely. I think I'm probably more worried about Downpour than Zombie Goliath. And I guess we'll let my opponents... I want them to dive into white, so they can take that Pillar Field Ox. It's a playable card, but at this point I want my opponents to be focused on non-green or red cards. So how are we looking? We're looking pretty good. I mean, no rares, unfortunately, but I mean, we've got some removal, that's good. We've got Chandra's Fury, which is strong. Fire Elementals are solid finishers. This deck could use a Rancor. Could probably, whenever you're in green, you just always say that, I think. Let's see. Planar Cleansing's pretty good rare, but not on color. Public Execution, I'd consider splashing, but I don't think it's necessary to splash it. So really it's Rummaging Goblin or Timberpack Wolf, and I think I'd rather pursue Beatdown a little bit, although I do always seem to end up with mana issues, whether it be Screw or Flood, and Rummaging Goblin is very good at dealing with that situation, but it is early enough where if I picked up a million Timberpack Wolves, I could just steamroll somebody. And I've done it once in real life. I've gotten 4 Timberpack Wolves, so it's early enough where there's a chance. Who knows, I might get another Rummaging Goblin. Wow, okay. Some good picks in here. Volcanic Geyser is very good. Deadly Recluse and Blade Tuskboar are also very strong. I would love to get this boar. I think it's pretty solid. Thinking I'm probably just going to pick up the Geyser. I think at first this was a severely... I don't know, it's kind of strange. Like, everybody at first thought it was Fireball, and then everyone, you know, very quickly realized it wasn't Fireball, but now people are like, wait a second, well, it's still a removal spell, and it's still very good. And I think I'm inclined to agree. I like this card quite a bit, and it's going to shine the most in the colors I'm in. Even though you wouldn't see it yet, I still have a chance to get some Arbor Elves, Farseeks possibly. So if you're ramping, Geyser is quite good, and it's a removal spell, so I think I like it more than the Deadly Recluse or the Boar. Both of those would be very close, though. I think we're just going to double up on Geyser. I don't really have a problem with that. As long as you have enough of an early game going. Geysers, I love how they double as finishers or just removal when you need them. So I'm going to take another removal spell here. Wouldn't mind pick up that Torch Fiend. I'd play it. Ooh, Korean Dryad. It's pretty cool. Do I like it more than Visionary? That's actually a question. I mean, Farseek too, but Farseek would be fine, but I'm going to do Visionary or Dryad, I'm pretty sure. I guess Dryad's pretty solid. Visionary always gets you a card, but it's just a 1/1 body otherwise, whereas Dryad can be just a 1/1 body, but if you play it early, it turns into an actual threat. And another Chandra's Fury, but I think I'm good on my late game at this point. Wow. That is a tough choice for me, the Visionary or the Dryad. I think I'm going to go Dryad just because it's, a rare card, and we're fairly deep red at this point. I like Rummaging Goblin quite a bit, but I think this deck would get more value from the Arbor Elf, just because we've got the double Geyser, so some ramp would be nice. I wouldn't mind picking up a Battle Jester either, but yeah, I think I'm going to go Arbor Elf. There's just enough upside to ramp. Alright, well, we get rewarded with a Rummaging Goblin anyway, so fairly confident I'm going to be playing that. A late Arsonist, which is just awesome because this card is very strong. I would run Trumpet Blast if we saw it, totally. Rootbound Crag to help fix, we have quite a bit of double red, no double green. Krenko's Command's always solid though. Evolving Wilds, if I wanted to splash, I still have that available to me. How good is Krenko's Command in this deck? Not particularly good. Buys me time to get to my 5 drops and later, but how much do I need this Krenko's Command? I mean, I would like some early game. I think I might just go with the Rootbound Crag, help with the mana. I think I'd rather help with my mana. I have mana issues a lot, so I want to make sure I'm hitting all these double reds. Yeah, Canyon Minotaur is actually fine. I don't have any problem with that card. And a Vastwood Gorger. It's another late game, which I'm not thrilled about, but could take another Canyon Minotaur, but this is good against us, and it's a good sideboard card in general. So I think I'm just going to take that Volcanic Strength here. I'd sideboard 2 Naturalizes, possibly. And a super late Battle Jester, which is awesome. I'll definitely be playing that card. Guess we'll take an Index. I could have let a blue player have that, I suppose. How are we looking now? I mean, we look good. We've got quite a bit of removal. And we've got a good mix of creatures. No, Mega Bombs, but Rancor would really top this deck off nicely. We've just got some really solid targets for it. I mean, everything's a solid target with it, but we've just got some stuff that would really reward us for playing that Rancor, so I'd like to pick up that, or at least a nice solid green or red rare, just to really have a must answer. That'd be nice. I'd settle for some more ramp too. Alright, pack 3. Gilded Lotus is cool and all, but not really for this deck. I guess it's pretty awesome with Volcanic Geyser, but I've got my eye on the Chronomaton, and I think that's what the pick's going to be. It's just super solid threat at 1 mana, and can be a game ender. Ask and ye shall receive. So we picked up that Rancor. Really awesome. That I'm very, very happy I got the Rancor here. Possibly table the Trumpet Blast too. This pack's deep enough. I'm pretty confident I would play the Trumpet Blast in this deck. Maybe not, but I've got a decent amount of early game that's pretty underwhelming besides the rest, so I'd consider it. How good's Reverberate? I like Reverberate quite a bit. Also another Krenko's Command, also an Evolving Wilds, and a Primal Hunt Piece. This card's very good. I may take the Reverberate. It's going to make me pretty deep red, but it's very good with the Searing Spear. It's very good with Krenko's Command. You double up on their instants or sorceries, so it copies their removal, their murders and switcheroos and crazy stuff like that. Yeah, I think I actually like Reverberate quite a bit. At worst, you sideboard it, but you probably bring it in pretty frequently. There's not a lot of decks that aren't going to be running, instants or sorceries. and you can always copy your own. I like this card quite a bit. I think it's the pick here over the Hunt Beast or the Krinkos Command. Although the Command is good. It's just not like incredibly amazing in this deck. Yeah, I'd rather have the Reverberate. I can see some good potential upside to that. Alright, I mean, there's another Timberpack Wolf, which I'd be happy to take, but there's also Centaur Courser, so... and Titanic Growth is worth mentioning, but Courser is an awesome threat, and I'd like the efficiency of it. I mean, I'd love to pick up this Timberpack Wolf, but we're going to go Courser for sure. It's just consistently better. How good is Hellion Crucible? I mean, do I want to take Hellion Crucible over cards like... That's a kind of weird question. I haven't been put in this position very often, where I get a chance to see how Hellion Crucible plays. I mean, it's a land that doubles as a creature, which I like. And this is just going to be a creature or a Yivas Force Mage. I feel like at this point, I don't need either of these. So I could just slightly affect my mana base to get something that potentially gives me a 4/4 haste, which is nothing to scoff at all. I think I'm actually going to pick the Hellion Crucible here. I'd rather, even though it slightly affects the mana base, I think the upside of it is huge. Alright, this is sweet. We get a late Flinthoof Boar. Kind of sucky that it's in the pack of the Deadly Recluse, but we look like we're actually very, very beat down. So I'm happy to take a Flinthoof Boar here. Alright, picking the Mark of Mutiny here, and I'm very happy about it. Mark of Mutiny is sickest in the beatdown deck. I would say it's probably a card you don't want to play in anything besides beatdown, unless you're some sort of like synergistic deck where you have like sack outlets, like Bloodthorn Vampire or something. Then I can understand. But Mark of Mutiny in beatdown is an amazing card. Okay, so choices are Trumpet Blast, Krinkos Command, Spiked Baloth, Goblin Battle Jester. We already have the one Battle Jester, and it's a 4-drop. Krinkos Command is going to be better. How good is Trumpet Blast in here? We have 17 creatures. Which ones am I likely to play? I'm pretty likely to play almost all of them. I'm fairly confident I'm just taking the Trumpet Blast here and working on lowering the mana curve of my deck. Like, I may end up cutting Vassud Gorger and a Fire Elemental and just really capitalizing on... I don't really care about any of these cards. I guess I'll take that. So yeah, really capitalizing on... What was I trying to say? Oh, on the early game. So yeah, because I've got like a lot of cheap stuff. I think this card's actually pretty good. If you have nothing else to do and you're getting like land heavy hands, I mean, it turns into a 4/4 haste creature. That's pretty strong, in my opinion. And I like the fact that you can remove it on your turn and attack with the creature, so it's kind of cool. This deck looks strong. Nothing bomby, but plenty of... I do hate Reckless Brute, but if I'm playing Beatdown, I'm always talking so much smack about Reckless Brute, but I think I'm actually going to play it here. Otherwise, I mean, I'm trying to splash for a Crimson Muckwader. I don't think that's likely to happen. I do hate Reckless Brute, but if it could lower the curve of my deck... Otherwise, I don't really know if I want to play a second Trumpet Blast. I mean, I got to see where I'm at, really, with this deck. I feel like I'm probably beat down enough where I can possibly make Reckless Brute work, but if I didn't have to, I wouldn't want to. Safe Passage can be a really annoying trick. Let's see what I'm cutting. I'm probably cutting the Minotaur. I'd play another Battle Jester before I'd play a Minotaur, I'm pretty sure. Wow, third to last Yivas Force Mage. See, I'd play the Force Mage over the Brute. but that's just me. Alright, I usually don't build the deck with you guys, but I think this time I will. Alright, so Arsonist, Searing Spear, Krenko's Command, Reverberate, Mark of Mutiny, Reckless Brute, we'll have you in for now, that. I don't think I'm playing that. I'd like to play these. Possibly play both of these. I think I actually like Fire Elemental more than Bastard Gorger for this deck because it's cheaper, the same power, plus it turns on the Quirion Dryad, which I believe I am still playing. So let's bring in all the stuff that we want here. I don't know if I'm going to play the Timberback Wolf yet. If I just have one, it hardly seems worth it. Alright, so I should cut, let's see, I've got the Rummaging Goblin, so I think, and the Hellion Crucible. I'm going to play 17 lands, so I should cut 4 cards. What am I cutting? Let's cut a little bit of our top end. I'll cut 1 Elemental. I think I have to cut the Reckless Brute. Card always makes me sad. Possibly cutting, I think I'll cut the Trumpet Blast. It's a good card. It's just, I like it more when I'm like really comboing off on it, like really building a deck with heavy token. It's like best in red-white. So cutting 1 more card. What is the weakest card here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 red spells for Quirion Dryad. So it's not even a third of the deck is red spells. So I think Quirion Dryad might actually be the weakest card here. You have to land it early. Late game, it's going to be pretty unimpressive. I think I can be satisfied with this. So I've got 3 1-drop creatures, 3 2-drop creatures, 5 3-drop, 3 4. That's pretty good. Let's check out my removal again, or let's just look at non-creature spells. Oh, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Mark of Mutiny and Battle Jester are like insanity together. It really it makes like all your guys unblockable, essentially. And Chandra's Fury with Battle Jester is also insane. Pretty much any removal spell with Battle Jester is going to be insane. So, how does this look? 14 creatures, 15 if you count the command. It's not a ton, I will admit. But, I mean, our removal looks very good. We ended up getting a Rancor. I think I like this deck quite a bit. Certainly the power level is here, and we're fixed reasonably well with this Rootbound Crag. This should help quite a bit. Let's pile by color. Let's take a look at that. So we're definitely more red than green. Let's see what kind of split they want to do here. 10-5. No, I don't want to do that. I think we're going to do 8-7. Because then I've got, what, 9 sources of red, 8 sources of green. I mean, I could also do 9-6. So then there's 10 sources of red, 7 sources of green. I don't need 2 green, so I want to make sure that I'm heavy red. So 10 sources of red, 7 sources of green. I think that's probably going to be the best. I have no double green. I've got plenty of double red. And if I reverberate a red spell, which is really the only thing I can, since all of these are creatures or not instants or sorceries. So I'm going to need a ton of red. So I think I'm going to go 9-6 with the Rootbound Crag. And I am going to play Hellion Crucible. We're going to try this card out and see what I think of it. How does this deck look overall? I think it looks pretty good. I like it quite a bit. I think this deck could very easily win a draft, so hopefully it does. Wish me luck. I'll see you round 1.